Welcome to Herself, a space for women to have deep conversations about the intersection between spiritual entrepreneurship and fulfilling your potential, so you can become the woman you truly are in every area of your life. After being in business for over 2 decades, I've learned, as you likely have too, that as you grow your business grows you in unexpected, often challenging, yet miraculous ways. Here, we'll talk about how to get out of your own way so you can grow a business that's abundant and sustainable while allowing you to be a force for good in the world. I'll give you simple, actionable strategies as well as wisdom and inspiration to help you root into your wholeness, lead from your values, and work in ways that feel deeply aligned so you can bring your true self into the world through your business and in every area of your life. Hello, self-led women. Each Wednesday, I invite you to join me for a mini episode where I share an excerpt from one of the calls in my year-long mentorship circle, Sorceress CEO. This is for spiritual women entrepreneurs who are ready to master their inner and outer worlds to be a force for good in these trying times. In these clips, I'll speak about the dance between our inner and outer worlds as we do the day-to-day work of bringing our visions into form. These mini episodes are here to support you as you face obstacles and chart your unique path to fulfillment, success, and your soul's expression on your terms. Enjoy. As a little girl, I loved playing school, and my favorite part was writing on a chalkboard with a fresh piece of white chalk. Today, my teacher's heart lives on, only now, instead of teaching with chalkboards, I make sure my online programs are stored and shared in the most organized, intuitive way possible. For the past few years, I've used Kajabi for this. It's heads and tails above any other online course platform that I've used since I first started teaching online back in 2008. Not only does Kajabi host all of my online programs, it also hosts all my program web pages and opt-in pages. It even hosts the private student-only podcasts I share inside my programs. Plus, it's easy for me and my team to use, and most importantly, it's easy for my students to use. I love it. If you're looking to up-level, streamline, and beautify things in your own business, whether it's how you deliver your online courses, create web pages, or even host your entire website, I invite you to enjoy a free 30-day trial with Kajabi, which is one of the sponsors for this podcast. You can click the link in the show notes to get started with your free 30-day trial. If you're like me, you'll be so happy you did. The only downside is no chalk is involved. It's often said that mindset is like 80% of it. I'd say it's even like 90% of it. Like if we read books like Think and Grow Rich or The Game of Life and How to Play It, these kind of classic books about creating what we want in life, it always comes down to the mind. So before we focus on those external things, I'd really love to focus on these internal pieces and what can be in place to really start to shore up more of the internal environment so that the external environment can then be a reflection of that in a way that feels really authentic and satisfying. Does that make sense? How is this landing inside of you right now? It's true for all of us. All of us. So what can we do? What can you do each day to shore up more of this internal environment? Because what manifestation is, it's when we get our thoughts, our feelings, our beliefs, and our actions all going in the same direction. We get distorted manifestations when our thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and actions are going in contradictory directions. So, how can we go to the root and right that? Otherwise, we're just constantly going to be like rearranging things in the external. Those rearrangements are not going to be substantive. And then filling your mind each morning with at least a page or two of a text that speaks these truths that we're not surrounded by. We're actually surrounded by the opposites. Do you have any of those right now? Do you need some suggestions to see what would feel resonant right now? So I actually pulled this book out because I felt like we might be talking about this today. I recommend this book. It's a little tiny book. It's like things like $6 on Amazon. The Abundance Book by John Randolph Price. And even doing his 40-day prosperity plan in there. And it's the kind of plan where if you miss one day, you have to start over at the beginning again. The collected works of Florence Scovel Skinn, and reading some of those pages every morning. Choose one of these, do one at a time. But especially with Florence's collected works, there's a lot of great phrases in there to write down. Like, have a journal where you write down those phrases and read them aloud. Choose a handful that really resonate with you to read aloud, because our speech creates reality. So we want to be really aware of our language. This is why in myths and things, that in order to open up a secret door or a gate, you need to say something like open sesame or abracadabra, because it's the word that makes things happen. So speaking those things out loud and then starting to create a new tape in the mind that is constantly speaking these things that you want to bring into being. Our innermost dominant thought creates our outermost dominant reality. Our innermost dominant thought creates our outermost dominant reality. So I'm not a fan of just doing affirmations and visualizations to spiritually bypass our parts that are holding wounds of unworthiness, etc. I'm a fan of doing both and. So connecting with your parts that need support and really training your mind, speaking, writing, thinking the reality that you want to have come into being. So everyone in our very first masterclass, you wrote an intention. Are you reciting that intention to yourself multiple times a day? Yes or no? No. Where is that intention? Don't know. There it is, maybe buried somewhere. So I said in that masterclass that intention is an anchor, that we will have rocky seas externally, internally. You will be challenged. You will be tested. This is what the heroine's journey is. That is non-negotiable. That is happening. Are you holding on to your anchor of your intention? Thank you for joining me today. And remember, change doesn't come from listening alone. I invite you to commit to taking one small or large, courageous action after today's conversation. One step you can take, if you haven't already, is to sign up for my Sunday journal. It's a weekly newsletter filled with inspiration and reflections about the intersection between spiritual entrepreneurship and fulfilling your potential, to help you become the woman you truly are in every area of your life. You can subscribe at programs-saraavonstover.com/journal. And if you found this podcast valuable, please share it with the women in your world. Also, I'd be very grateful if you'd leave a review. It helps others find resources like this, and I'd love to hear what's coming alive for you after listening today. Above all, keep going, and never forget the unique offerings you and your true self bring to the world. Until next time, I'm sending you my heartfelt support.